Have you ever experienced it? A coincidence so perfect, so strange, it sends a shiver down your spine. You think of an old friend you haven't seen in years, and 5 minutes later, they call you. You are wrestling with a difficult decision, and you open a random book to a page that contains your exact answer. You see the same number, the same symbol, the same animal, over and over again, in the most unlikely places. You call it a coincidence, a fluke, a trick of the mind. Carl Jung, a man who dared to explore the borderlands between science and mysticism, had a different name for it. He called it synchronicity, and he believed it was not a trick of the mind. It was a message from the universe. We live in a world that has been systematically disenchanted. We have been taught that the universe is a cold, dead, random machine, that everything is a product of blind chance and mechanical causality. Things just happen. This is the great, flattening lie of modern materialism. It is a philosophy that offers a sense of intellectual superiority, but at a terrible price: the death of meaning. It leaves you feeling like a random accident in a meaningless cosmos, a ghost in a machine. But your own experience whispers a different story. Those strange, meaningful coincidences. They feel different. They feel like a signal in the noise, a crack in the gray wall of randomness. Jung risked his scientific reputation to investigate this phenomenon. He proposed a radical, heretical idea that there is another organizing principle in the universe, just as real as cause and effect, an acausal connecting principle. He argued that these are not just coincidences. They are moments when the inner world of your psyche and the outer world of events mysteriously align. They are glimpses into a deeper, hidden order. Today, we are going to deconstruct Jung's most controversial and magical concept. This is not a guide to superstition. It is a guide to the psychology of meaning. We will show you how to recognize these messages, how to interpret them, and how to use them as a compass for your own unique destiny. To understand synchronicity, you must first understand the two worlds you inhabit simultaneously. The outer world of clocks and clouds, as the philosopher Karl Popper called it. The world of physical events, of cause and effect. And the inner world of your psyche, the world of thoughts, feelings, myths, and archetypes. For most of modern science, these two worlds are completely separate. What happens in your mind is just a subjective illusion. What happens in the world is the only reality. Jung's great heresy was to suggest that this separation is an illusion. He proposed that the psyche and the material world are not separate, but are two aspects of one single underlying reality. They are like the inside and the outside of the same cup. And synchronicity is the moment when you get a glimpse of the whole cup. It is a moment when an inner psychological event, a dream, a thought, an emotion, is mirrored by an outer physical event in a way that is meaningful to the observer, without any obvious causal connection. Let's be very clear. This is not about every coincidence. Seeing two red cars in a row is not a synchronicity. For an event to be a true synchronicity, it must meet two criteria. First, the two events must be causally unrelated. The phone ringing has no physical connection to you thinking about your friend. Second, and most importantly, the coincidence must be personally meaningful to the person who experiences it. It must feel significant. It must feel like a signal. It is the meaning that transforms a random coincidence into a synchronistic event. Jung believed that these events are not random. They tend to occur at specific critical moments in our lives. When we are at a crossroads, when we are in a period of great transformation, when we are asking the big questions. They are, he believed, orchestrated by the deeper, organizing intelligence of the psyche, which he called the self. The self is the totality of who you are, conscious and unconscious. It is the inner God, the central archetype of order, and it uses the language of synchronicity to guide you on your path to individuation, to becoming whole. To understand this language, we must learn to recognize its three primary dialects. The first and most common form is synchronicity as confirmation. This is when the universe seems to give you a green light, a sign that you are on the right path. Imagine you are agonizing over a difficult career change. You have an offer for a new job in a new city. It feels right, but it's a huge risk. Your rational mind is full of fear and doubt. Then, you go for a walk to clear your head. You look up, and on a billboard, you see the slogan for an airline. It's time for a new destination. A rationalist would call this confirmation bias. You are already thinking about the change, so you are primed to notice that sign. And they are partially right. But Jung would ask a deeper question. Why were you primed to notice it at that exact moment? The synchronicity lies not just in the sign, but in the timing. It is the perfect, meaningful collision of your inner state, doubt and desire, with an outer event, the billboard. The self, your inner wisdom, is using the outer world to send you a message of encouragement. It is saying, yes, this fear you feel is the dizziness of freedom. Keep going. These confirmations are often subtle. The right song playing on the radio at the right moment. Overhearing a stranger's conversation that speaks directly to your problem. Finding a feather on your path just after asking for a sign. The key is not to treat these as divine commands. They are not telling you what to do. They are simply a nudge, a cosmic wink, a confirmation from the deeper part of yourself that the path you are considering is aligned with your soul's true journey. The second dialect is darker and often more difficult to accept. It is synchronicity as a warning. If the universe can give you a green light, it can also give you a red one. These are the moments when the outer world seems to conspire to stop you, to slow you down, to make you reconsider your path. These are not signs of bad luck. They are signals that you may be moving in a direction that is out of alignment with your true self. Imagine you are about to enter into a business partnership with someone. On the surface, everything looks perfect. He is charming, successful, and promises you the world. Your rational mind is convinced. But on the way to the meeting to sign the contract, a series of strange coincidences occur. You get a flat tire. A black bird crashes into your office window. You spill coffee all over the contract. The naive person dismisses these as random, frustrating accidents. But the person who understands the language of synchronicity pauses. They ask, is the universe trying to tell me something? Is there something about this person, this deal, that my intuition is picking up on, but my conscious mind is ignoring? These warnings are often not dramatic. They are a series of small, persistent obstacles. The project that is usually easy suddenly becomes inexplicably difficult. You keep losing your keys. Technology keeps failing. You keep running into literal and metaphorical red lights. When this happens, it is not a sign to give up. It is a sign to slow down and pay closer attention. It is a message from your unconscious, which often perceives danger long before your rational ego does. It is telling you to look beneath the surface, to question the charming facade, to do your due diligence one more time. The self is not trying to frighten you. It is trying to protect you. It is acting as your loyal, silent guardian. Learning to heed these subtle no's from the universe is a crucial skill for navigating a world full of hidden dangers and deceptive appearances. This requires a profound shift in how we view obstacles. Our culture teaches us to hustle, to push through, to never give up. And sometimes that is the right advice. But sometimes the obstacle is not a test of your will. It is a gift of information, a signpost telling you, wrong way, turn back. The great art is in learning to distinguish between a challenge that is meant to make you stronger and a warning that is meant to keep you safe. And that distinction can only be felt through a deep, honest connection with your own intuition. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books, but lives in our very blood? Carl Jung. The third and most profound dialect is synchronicity as a revelation. These are the rare earth-shattering moments that don't just confirm or warn, but completely transform your understanding of yourself and the world. These events are often triggered by a major life crisis, a deep dive into the unconscious, or an encounter with a powerful archetype. They are moments when the veil between the inner and outer worlds is torn away completely. Jung's most famous example of this was a patient of his, a highly rational woman who was making no progress in therapy. She was stuck in her head. One day, she was telling Jung about a powerful dream she'd had, in which she was given a golden scarab beetle. As she was describing the dream, Jung heard a gentle tapping on the window. He opened it, and a large beetle flew into the room, the closest European equivalent to a golden scarab. He caught it and presented it to her, saying, "Here is your scarab." In that moment, her rational, protected worldview was shattered. The impossible had just happened. The inner world of her dream had physically manifested in the outer world. This single shocking event broke through her intellectual defenses and opened her up to the reality of the unconscious. Her therapy and her life were transformed from that moment on. This is synchronicity as a revelation. It is an act of grace from the self, a direct, undeniable intervention designed to wake you up from the slumber of a purely rational existence. These revelations often involve archetypes. You are going through a painful divorce, feeling like a failure. You go for a walk in the woods, and you see a massive ancient tree that has been struck by lightning, burnt almost to a crisp, but from its blackened trunk, a single new green branch is defiantly growing. In that moment, you don't just see a tree. You see the archetype of death and rebirth. You see your own story reflected in nature, and you are filled with a sudden, profound sense of hope. The universe has just shown you, in the most direct and poetic way possible, that destruction is often a necessary precursor to new growth. Or perhaps you are wrestling with a lack of courage. You feel weak and ineffectual. You go to a museum, and you find yourself standing in front of a painting of a lion. You lock eyes with the animal on the canvas, and you feel a surge of power, of dormant strength, rising within you. The archetype of the warrior king has been activated. The self is reminding you of a strength you possess but have forgotten. These are not just nice, metaphorical experiences. They are profound psychological events. They are the self, bypassing the noise of your ego and speaking to you directly in the ancient universal language of symbols. So you see the three dialects: confirmation, which says yes, warning, which says no, and revelation, which says wake up. The universe is not a dead, silent machine. It is a living, breathing, intelligent system, and it is in constant, meaningful dialogue with your own psyche. Synchronicity is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. It is a function of your own consciousness. The more you work on yourself, the more you integrate your shadow, the more you connect with your own deep inner world, the more the outer world will begin to speak to you. The signals were always there. You just weren't tuned to the right frequency. The great secret is not to look for more signs in the world. It is to become the kind of person who can finally see them. So how do you begin to tune your radio to this hidden frequency? How do you move from a world of random accidents to a world of meaningful dialogue with the universe? This is not about superstition or passive sign-seeking. It is about the active, disciplined cultivation of a new kind of awareness. First, you must practice active observation. Synchronicity speaks in the language of symbols, metaphors, and patterns. To understand it, you must become a student of this language. Start a synchronicity journal. Every time a strange, meaningful coincidence occurs, write it down. Be specific. Note the inner event, the thought, the feeling, the dream, and the outer event, the phone call, the billboard, the animal you saw. Do not try to interpret it immediately. Just collect the data. Over time, as you look back on your journal, you will begin to see patterns. You will see that certain symbols, certain numbers, certain themes appear again and again, often at critical junctures in your life. You are not just documenting coincidences. You are learning the unique, personal vocabulary of your own unconscious. Second, you must engage with the archetypal world. The unconscious does not speak in spreadsheets. It speaks in stories, in myths, in images. To understand its messages, you must immerse yourself in this world. Read fairy tales, study mythology, look at great art, watch films that are rich with symbolic meaning. You are not just entertaining yourself. You are building a mental library of archetypal patterns. The more you understand the universal story of the hero's journey, the more you will recognize its stages in your own life. The more you understand the archetype of the trickster, the more you will recognize his chaotic, but often necessary, interventions. This is what Jung meant when he said we must have a symbolic life. A life that recognizes the deep mythical patterns that play out beneath the surface of our mundane existence. Third, and most importantly, you must act on the message. Awareness without action is sterile. When a synchronicity occurs, it is not just a piece of information. It is a call to do something. If you keep seeing confirmations related to a new path, your job is to take the first, small, courageous step on that path. If you keep receiving warnings about a certain relationship, your job is to have the difficult conversation or to create distance. A synchronicity is a cosmic nudge, but you are the one who has to take the step. The universe can open a door, but it will not carry you through it. As Jung wrote, the decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? Synchronicity is the experience of that relation, but it is a relation that demands your conscious participation. You have been given a key to a secret magical dimension of reality, a dimension that has been here all along, hidden in plain sight, veiled by the gray fog of our rational, materialistic culture. You now understand that coincidences are not always random, that the universe is not a dead machine, that you are in a constant, meaningful dialogue with a deeper intelligence that is guiding you toward wholeness. What you do with this knowledge will determine the quality and the meaning of the rest of your life. You can dismiss it. You can call it superstition. You can retreat back into the safe, but sterile prison of a world where everything is just a random accident. Or you can begin the great adventure. You can choose to live in an enchanted world, a world where every event, every encounter, every obstacle is a potential message. A world where you are not a lonely, random speck of dust, but a conscious, co-creative partner in a cosmic dance. Jung wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." Synchronicity is the moment when the inside and the outside become one. It is the universe conspiring to help you awaken. If this message has resonated with the deepest, most mysterious part of you, if you are ready to stop living in a world of noise and start listening for the signal, then make your declaration. Join the others who are choosing to see the hidden order. Go to the comments and declare your new way of seeing. Right, I am listening. It is a declaration of your new awareness, a commitment to the great magical dialogue. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. The universe has more to tell you